Hello, I'm Casual K for Beat Stockpile. Today I'm going to show you how to build chords. And I'm going to start off by showing you the circular fifth because this is going to give us some information. So if you're completely new and you don't know how to build chords, using a little bit of information in circular fifth can really help you. And this is something else. There are many things you can do with the circular fifths, but I'm only going to show you, it's only one thing that we really needed for to build our chords. And that's going to be something I'm going to show you in a quick second. All right. Now in this outer ring, that's all about major scales. All right. The middle ring, our minor scales. So already something should click. C major is the relative major of A minor, or A minor is the relative minor of C major. So that's already some information that we have there. So if you're playing in F and you want to know what's the relative minor of F major, D minor. Same thing. Say A flat major, F minor. That can be useful information, right? Now, when we're building chords, this is what we really want to know about. How many flats or sharps are in the C major scale? In the A minor scale, there's 0. No flats, no sharps, all right? But if we went to G, there's one G major, E minor. There's one sharp. And I'm going to show you how we can figure out what that sharp is in a second. All right, so let's jump over to this chart right here. Now, on this chart, we have scale degrees. It should be first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, like that across the top. But we see that 1 through 7. Then we have the formula for a major scale. All right? And then I basically have the major scale and the chords. But remembering back to the circular fifths, there's 0 black notes. There's no sharps, no flats. So there are 0 black notes in the C major scale. Right? What you do, you take that information, go to your keyboard. So we play C. Go to our next note, D. That's a whole step. Go to our next note, E. There's another whole step. F, half step. G, whole step. A, whole step. B, whole step. Now on the chart, I didn't put the eighth scale degree, which would be the C. C, half step. All right. Now what that just tells you is that, by playing that C major scale, it gives you the formula that we have written across here. Hold, hold, half, hold, 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 half. You'll never forget it, because if you were writing a song in a different key, say D major, you can start on D, your root, whole step, whole step. Let me bring up the keyboard because you can't see that, right? So, and also, let me jump back to the circular fifths for a second. So we're going to do D major, right? That tells us there are 2 sharps. Okay, so now we're going to use that formula that we just learned. D, so we got root, hold, hold. So F sharp, hold, hold, half, hold, half. So we have F sharp and C sharp, 2 sharps in the D sharp major scale. And that tells us right there. So we know there are 2 sharps. And we got that because we know there are 0 sharps in the A minor or C major. And we found the formula for this scale just by playing the notes straight up the keyboard. You can't forget the formula just by play the C major scale. That gives you the formula for all major scales. All right, I'm gonna do a video on minors later, but you can sort of already figure out how you would do that for minors. Now let's get to the topic of this video, which is building chords. All right, now that we have the formula for the scale, we know what scale degrees are. The scale degrees are just first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Right? We know the formula for a chord, a triad, is 1, 3, 5. Right? So your major and your minor triads and your diminished and your augmentative, they're all 1, 3, 5. So if I play 1, 3, 5, what am I really doing? I'm playing the first scale degree, the third scale degree, and the fifth scale degree. So I'm playing C, E, G, C, E, G. It's that simple. Now you look at this. Now that's a C major chord, right? But then you come to this second scale degree, you have D, F, A. So D, F, A is still 1, 3, 5, But now the chord changes a little bit. D, F, A. That's the D compared to the G. Listen to the sound. The C is a little more uplifting and the D is more down lifting. That's because you have what's called intervals. All right, so you have your C and you go up 4 steps, 4 semitones. C, 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes us to a major third. So this E is a major third away from the C. And then you put the fifth on that. And again, remember with our circle of fifths, C, G, we already know this. This is a fifth away. C and G are a fifth away. G and D are a fifth away. All we really have to find out is, click the wrong direction. All we have to find out is the third. In this case, if we're playing the C major scale, the C major scale, we play C, E, G. There's no black notes, so we can't play this. We can't play E flat because that doesn't fit. So that tells us that has to be major. D, F, A. We can't play a black note, so this D, F, A has to be minor because it's only, you got your root, notice the D, 1, 2, 3. That's a minor third. All right. If you only got 3 semitones, so D, 1, 2, 3, that's called a minor third. If it was 4 semitones, so we go from D, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be a D major. But you can't use that black note, so it has to be minor. Now, this is something that you probably want to write down or try to remember. The first scale degree in a major scale is always a major chord. The second is always minor. The third is always minor. The fourth is major. The fifth is major. The sixth is minor. And the seventh is something we call diminished. And to diminish something, that means you make it smaller. So if I said C, 1, 2, 3, 4 is major, and then you put that minor part, the 1, 2, 3 part on the back, right? So you have a major part and a minor part. But when we get to the seventh, so B, D, F, it doesn't sound like the other ones because it's a minor. So you got B, 1, 2, 3, a minor third, and then 1, 2, 3, another minor third. So both half of that chord property are minor. So it gives us a diminished chord. All right, that's why you don't see the seventh chord used that often. I mean, it's used, but not as often as, say, the 1, 4, 5 or the 1, 6, 2, 4, 5. Those types are used much more often than the seventh chord. And actually, even the 3 is not used as much. But the seventh is not used because it's a diminished chord. A lot of people stay away from that. And like I said, if you remember that, you can build any major chord out there. And also, I wrote down here as a little note, these chord names never change. What I mean by that is, even when we go from, say if we were in a different scale, and this was supposed to be C, E flat, G, the C, E, G never changes. The property of the third is going to change sometimes, but this name, C, E, G, is always going to be there. All right, so let's go to another example. All right, so we have, say, a B, right? Now we look at this B major, and that tells us there are 5 sharps. Right? Wow, 5 sharps. How are we going to figure this out? It's really simple. We already know how to figure it out, right? Because we're going to take our root note. What did we say? B. We're going to take our root note. We're going to go up a whole step. It gives us up that first black note, C sharp. Go up another whole step, D sharp. Half step back down to E. Whole step up to F sharp. Whole step to G sharp. Whole step to A sharp. And if we had the 8th note on the scale, it'll be a half step back down to L, B. And again, that's the formula. We know the formula just by looking at the circle of fifths, and it's telling us there are no black notes in the C major. So the C major is our key, basically. It's our key to unlock all the major scales. So that formula, that root, and that hold, hold, half, came from the circle of fifth, and then we can use that throughout all of our major scales. So if you just take that formula, you can make all your major scales. And if you look at the circle of fifths, let me You look at that circle of fifths again. So when you're trying to figure this out, and you don't have 5 sharps in a B major, you know you did something wrong. So you just have to focus. And something else I want to say, let me go forward here. You can only use the letter one time. Like you can't use B and then B sharp or B flat. It has to be B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That's how we do it in Western music. You can't go B, B flat, E flat like that. It has to be one note, one name per scale because of something called enharmonics. This C sharp, yeah, it's a C sharp, but it's also a D flat. But when you're writing your scales out, don't think, you have to think about it in the right way. So your scales are going to go in order: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Make sure when you write a scale out, they always go in order. So actually, something I don't think I pointed out. When you're building this chart, I would like you to make your own chart like this. So you have your scale, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and that's following this formula, whole step. So you got the D, you go a whole step to E, whole step to F. I'm sorry, half step to F. You're following that formula and you're coming up with that. The third line is still just the scale starting from the third scale degree. So this E is just the same scale, but you're starting on the E here. And then the fifth, you're starting on the fifth scale degree. So G, A, B, G, A, B is all the same. Then you come back C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F. So you just basically you write the first line starting on the first scale degree, write the second line starting on the second scale degree, and you write the third line starting on the fifth scale degree. And if you do that, and if you do it over and over and over again, trust me, you'll never have problems with scales again. All right, so that's just your major scale in a nutshell. If you have any problems or any questions about that, leave a comment. I'm Casual K. Y'all have a nice day.